Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is going to be a recap of the later night stream. And before we start, I'd like to remind you if you want to join me on the stream, it's on the other channel, the Good Free Photos channel. The link is in the description and in the comments. Also, check out Crypto Daily Update. That's one great video each day detailing all the great crypto news for that day. So check that out as well. Anyways, let's get on with the recap. Brave browser has actually hit about 1.6 well, they have about 15 million users, but only 12% of them roughly use the BAT token. So BAT itself has about 1.5 million users. In an interview with CZ, the creator of Binance, he mentioned that Brave browser has about 15 million monthly users, and CZ said that's probably the most out of any crypto community. And that's probably true, but only about 12% of them actually use BAT, which means 1.5 is still a good amount for any kind of crypto community. But you definitely have to have more than 12% buy-in if you want this to replace the advertising market in the internet. Once you get about 50% buy-in from like internet users, then you can actually really start thinking about replacing advertising online, because then like advertisers become expendable at that point. But Brave needs to achieve a lot more mass usage for their browser, and they need like 40 to 50%, not 12%, that actually use that economy. And they actually need to be able to convince those 50% to actually donate and subscribe. That's the only way you're going to really get advertising off the internet. Ad blockers are fine, but eventually like sites like YouTube are just going to block ad blockers. That's how it's actually going to work. And the thing is, like, none of the other platforms really have the content. And once they actually get the content, they're going to realize, oh, crap, we actually have to pay for the servers and the bandwidth and everything, and they're going to have ads too. So you can't really sustain an internet without ads, you can't sustain an internet without ads without actually people paying into the system, because it costs money to actually create content. The servers cost money and the bandwidth costs money, and no, your ISP does not pay content creators or platforms anything. Their money just goes straight to them. So the thing is, like, BAT needs to get buy-in. It's either going to be like BAT, Coil, or one of these things that could possibly replace the internet advertising model, but they need everyone to actually subscribe, and very few people actually subscribe out of the number that do actually use their browser. So while they have a really good user base, and it's encouraging that they have over 1 million people subscribing to their system, you need a lot more than that to actually make this to work. So they got their work cut out for them, but it is still very encouraging that they got like 1.6 million people actually subscribing to the Brave system, not just the browser, but the economic system in general. So that's really cool. Chainlink has seen an uptick in activity, and that's really good for both DeFi and Chainlink. Chainlink has over 20 oracles for Ethereum DeFi, and that means like more people are using Chainlink, and two, more people are actually interested in DeFi. That's what it means. Despite DeFi's problems, there's still a lot of people that actually trust in DeFi. So that's actually extremely good news for DeFi, that people would still continue to trust in them even after their failures in the past couple of weeks. So Ethereum definitely still has a good future. Despite its scaling issues, all DeFi is on Ethereum, and that could pump Ethereum come the next run. Next, we have like 5 reasons why institutional investors refuse to join the crypto sector. And the thing is, like, one is the on-ramp is really steep, and investing in Bitcoin is still a significant hurdle for large fund managers. And because for fund managers, they don't want to take that much of a risk. And Bitcoin is still extremely volatile day to day. And that's very, very off-putting. They can't actually take those losses for a fund, even from day to day. So that's one reason. So presence does not equal profit. Presence does not equal profit or guarantee for a market. So like, just because institutional investors are present doesn't necessarily they're going to translate into buying pressure. A lot of them do buy off OTC. And the thing is, many of them are actually entering into the futures market, which doesn't require them to actually touch Bitcoin or crypto. In fact, many funds are actually entering the CME market, shorting crypto, which is really bad for crypto. So like, we shouldn't really celebrate if they're entering a 10 billion fund potentially into the space to actually bet against Bitcoin's price. That would be a very, very bad thing. And like, building via futures would actually come at a very, very high cost, and that's not something we really want. So the other thing is, compared to traditional markets, the crypto market's really small. The stock market is at 67.5 trillion. whereas the Bitcoin market is at 176 billion. And just to give you like kind of like a sense of a direction, like the top 10 owners of JP Morgan Chase all own over $21 billion worth of JP Morgan Chase. And the thing is, like, the biggest Bitcoin fund is Grayscale Investments, and that's only $3 billion. So like even number 10 in JP Morgan's owners, their share in JP, and that's Fidelity, by the way, their share in JP Morgan alone is still greater than all of Grayscale, which is the biggest Bitcoin fund. So these funds are just not big enough for the big money managers to actually come into. The world's top 20 largest asset managers combine oversee $42.3 trillion, and a mere 0.5% of that is almost equal to the entire Bitcoin market cap. So the market's just not big enough to attract them. So we actually need to grow some more. Regulatory pressure obviously remains a hurdle. And the CFTC, the former head of the CFTC, actually admitted that he collaborated with the SEC head and also the Treasury to actually suppress Bitcoin's last rally. So there's that, and they might suppress future rallies. But Bitcoin can actually scale without institutions, and it's going to have to scale without institutions as well, because it's going to have to scale some before institutions actually get interested. But the thing is, like, just peer-to-peer use of Bitcoin and stuff will eventually scale it to the point where institutions interested, and at that point, a lot of them will actually come in as regulations get hammered out. So that is the update for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.